think in college life, my dating life was something that needed a lot of jugaad because my mom was a very strict mom and she wouldn't have allowed me to go on dates. So I think that jugaad, getting a friend on board to lie for
to
you,
cover up.
That was the only jugaad that I did. Trying to not get caught.
I'm a certain kind of person, and also the kind of paths that I get are slightly closer to who I am as a person. And as an actor, then beyond the point, it starts getting dull for you. So whenever someone comes and says that I want to see you in something completely different, I jump on that opportunity.
Yeah. My biggest mantra is to not rant on anything or not have social media. I think I'm playing it very safe. I keep my opinions to myself or I share it with my very close circle. Putting it out on social media, I think there are a lot of people who are already doing it. Putting my opinion out there is not going to make any difference.
So every time I watch you on screen, you guys and your projects, they're full of revelations and surprises. I mean, there's never a dull moment. And on that note, Sumeet and Ahsaas, thank you so much for doing this with me. A huge welcome to ETimes, and we are so happy to have you joining with us today.
Thank you so much.
Honestly, I love the trailer of Jugaadistan. I really like the authenticity that both of you are bringing into it. I want to know from each of you, what made you guys say an absolute yes for the show and what were your biggest takeaways from it? Starting with Ahsaas.
I think the first thing that, made me say yes was the fact that Akash Khurana is directing it because he was on my list and I genuinely wanted to work with him. I got this audition and then I auditioned for it and then I got to know it's also going on Lionsgate Play, which is like a different platform for me to even explore. So that was there and then I got to know the story and my character and it's again very different from everything that I've done before. It's a journalism student who wants to explore the whole part, wants the story. And it's a very interesting thing, and like the show in general also has an edge to it. It would have been a very different genre for me to even explore if I had done this show. So which is why, like I said yes to it. And then later, even when we got into the whole look test part, I got to know that my look is also very different because I wear a scarf around. So I was like, okay, this is also standing out from everything that I've done before. Because Akarsha and Aadhar wanted my character to be different and my look to be different. And for this particular character to stand out from everything that I've done before, because they also knew that all the shows that I've done in the past are set in the similar world, like, in college, university. So which is why this had to be different, even though it's the same universe. But I think the story itself is, like I said, very edgy. It's exploring a lot of things. There's a whole dark side to it, the scam side and everything. And going on. So this is the reason I said yes.
It's the same actually. I mean, I've been friends with Akash for I don't know how many years now, and we worked on so many things together.
Yes.
So, secretly we just keep finding opportunities to work with each other so we can hang with each other. Otherwise, everybody's so busy and doing their own thing. So, and he said, we're doing this show and I want you to act in it. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I didn't know the role. I landed up on the look test and he told me that, listen, you're playing this Haryanvi guy. So it's like, okay, then I have to sort of work on my accent and everything. And then I sort of understood the character a little bit from him. But just the fact that I was getting to work with him and it was going to be and I trust him and, he said it's a good role. And it's like, yeah, so then it must be a good role. Let's do it.
So, in the trailer, as we see, you play a role of a very aggressive politician, Bhati. What was it about him that attracted you the most and how did you approach him?
This is something that I want to do because I'm a certain kind of person. And also the kind of paths that I get are slightly closer to who I am as a person. And as an actor, then beyond the point, it starts getting dull for you. You're just like, I'm just playing a slight version of myself. And
exactly.
I'm not really getting to explore anything else. So whenever someone comes and says that I want to see you in something completely different, I jump on that opportunity. So this was again that kind of part. Who was, a very, very different guy. The way he dealt with people, how conniving he is, and also how layered he is. It's not a quintessential black and white character that he's the villain or whatever. I mean, if you watch the show, you'll also realize that there's a slight human side to him.
Side of him. Okay.
He's like anyone else, and I mean, he just probably thinks of his interests a little more than the usual folk. Enough to put other people in trouble. So it's just that aspect that's a little skewed. So yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it because it was very layered, and as we were shooting for it and as we were prepping for it, I had certain ideas, and the joy of working with Akash and Aadhar is that they're open. They're so open. They let you fly with your character. They let you explore. They don't stop you from doing anything. They want to help you in, finding new things in your path. That's very endearing.
So, Ahsaas, I see you there being an aspiring journalist, and I'm not going to lie, you play that with so much honesty out there. How did it feel to get inside Aisha's headspace?
I watched interviews, and before, getting to play Aisha, every time I watched an interview, I always looked at who's being interviewed and not who's taking the interview. So this time when, the whole, getting to play Aisha and doing my little bit of my research, I watched a lot of interviews and saw how people, people look for stories and how passionate they are about finding a story and working on it and covering it. So that was, just getting into that zone and getting into that mindset. But we were very lucky that Akash and Aadhar really helped us to get into our character. So all the workshops that had happened with them, they really helped me get into that character and little nuances that Aisha might have. Being a journalism student, I think it all came from them. And, I think it's just the surrounding and everybody that you work with. I think that really helps. So all my co-actors and my directors, all of them were very helpful when it came to figuring out Aisha's character.
So, as we see, Jugaadistan is altogether a different world. And as they say, jahan pyar, dosti, paisa and politics, sab chalta hai, only Jugaad se. I want to know from each of you, was there any such thing in your life too, which you thrived only with Jugaad? Be it in your school life or anywhere?
School life, I did a bunch of Jugaads because I was not a very bright student in school. So, we had like a little bit of a gang thing going. And we were picking up fights. And so, yeah, I think that time I did a bunch of Jugaads, once we sort of beat up a PT teacher, because he was rude to us. And yeah, those kind of Jugaads we did. But once I joined college, then there was no need to do any Jugaad.
Okay. What about you, Ahsaas?
I think in college life, my dating life was something that needed a lot of Jugaad because my mom was a very strict mom and she wouldn't have allowed me to go on dates. And to get to bunk college or anything, like anywhere I went, my mom used to ask for sabut, ki tum kahan ho, make me talk to your friend or something. So I think that Jugaad, getting a friend on board to lie for you,
cover up.
That was the only Jugaad that I did. Trying to not get caught by my mom. Then I went somewhere else and I told her something else. So,
very relatable. So, Ahsaas, you have been a very prominent face in the entertainment industry for ages now. And it's safe to say that you have a grip on the audience's preferences. How do you constantly manage to reinvent yourself now?
As Sumeet very nicely said earlier, that, when you do something and you're being liked for it, that's the only kind of roles that you later get. I had typecast for The Girl Next Door and for college shows. So I think just saying no to some things is something that I found very difficult, and I had to do that so that I am able to play different kinds of roles every time. Even Jugaadistan, I know it was set in the same world, but again, like my characters,
it was very different. Yeah.
So I'm always trying to do something that I'm not something that I've done before. So like every character or any script that I have to read and like figure out if it's the same thing. So yeah, I think just saying no to some things is my key for reinventing us.
So, Sumeet, I'm in love with what you do on screen, and you are known for playing characters which are very relatable to the youth, and you have been part of very good content driven shows. But at the same time, are you a lot clearer in your head now about choosing projects which match your sensibilities?
Yeah, match my sensibilities and also like challenge me as an artist.
Okay,
Otherwise, it gets a little boring if you are only playing a slight version of yourself.
true,
Then you're just like, I mean, then there's no fun in being an actor. The whole joy of being an actor is that you get to be someone else.
true.
You get to behave like someone else, live this life of another person, and react like them, and then come back to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you bring some of that to your personality, uh, good and bad, and sometimes you take some from yours and give it to them.
Yeah.
So, so essentially, that's what I look for these days in every part that I choose. That
Mm-hmm.
it has to be an enriching experience beyond the point,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise, you know, the result of it is not in my hand. If it'll be a
True.
hit show or a flop show or a good show or a bad show, I can't really, because actors have very little to do
Yeah.
in a project except for their part.
Mm-hmm.
But for that time that I'm shooting for it, I have to have some sort of, I have to go ahead from where I am. It
True.
has to enrich me in some way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something that I look forward to.
So, you have explored every medium of entertainment, and especially web is something you had explored quite early. Now, with the amount of shows and competition which is happening in the web space, what is your approach towards enhancing your craft and finding a place for yourself in that industry?
I mean, it's the same. I don't think you can change your approach so much. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
thing is that initially when we had started, it was still at a very experimental stage. I think
True.
Permanent Roommates
Yeah.
was also the first web series ever made.
True.
Uh, so it was everybody, and once it got popular, and then other web shows came, and they were also getting popular. At that time, I would sense a certain amount of resistance from the mainstream filmmakers and
Yeah.
television makers, in acknowledging this medium. And now
Mm-hmm.
everybody's here. Either everybody's here or they want to be here. They
True.
can't. So, and this we could see even at that point. So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the only thing that has happened is now there is a lot of opportunity,
Yeah.
but you have to choose the ones that matter to you. You have to be
True.
wise enough to not get swayed
Mm-hmm.
by the amount of calls you're getting, and just choose wisely. As to what your next project is going to be and how is that going to help you as an actor, as an artist.
So, Asas, apart from being a great actor, you are also a very prominent social media personality. And having said that, people are always assessing you, looking at your stuff constantly, and of course, judging you to some extent. So, are you a lot careful about what you tweet, post, or talk or rant about out there?
Yeah. My biggest mantra is to not rant only about anything or not have opinions
Yeah,
on social media. I think I'm playing it very safe. I keep my opinions to myself or I share it with my very close circle. Putting it out on social media, I think there are a lot of people who are already doing it.
true.
Putting my opinion out there is not going to make any difference. But like I still like talk about things that are very, very important. But I try to keep my opinions and what I think about things to myself. But I also am very, very careful about what I'm posting. Not just about like having opinions, it's just about because there are like lakhs of people following me, and we live in a cancel culture today. Like no matter what,
Exactly.
cancel
Yeah.
like. So I am always very scared and careful about what I'm saying, and I don't want to put out anything that I'm not. So I'm also trying to be as authentic as possible because I want people to see that I am exactly like them. I don't want them to come and say to me that on social media you're very different, but in person you're very different. And
Mm-hmm.
luckily I have been able to put myself out as authentic as I can be, so that people still come and say, you're exactly like how you are on social media. So I try
Mm-hmm.
that. It's a very conscious effort. But yes, like you said, I'm always being judged. I'm always like, people are just waiting to like cancel me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have dodged a lot of bullets.
So thank you so much, Sumeet and Ahsaas, for doing this with me. I had a great time chatting with you guys.